Welcome back in the National Report. I'm Rob Finnerty. The Biden administration is blaming the recent surge on the U.S.-Mexico border on former President Donald Trump. They say the previous administration dismantled the immigration system and something known as the Central American Minors Program that allowed children to apply for asylum in their home countries. Here's Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on that topic.
The prior administration dismantled the orderly and safe way that these children could make their claims. It tore down the Central American Minors Program that allowed these children to make their claims under United States law without having to take the perilous journey.
All right, we should note that parts of that Central American Minors Program are still in place right now, but joining us to react is Derek Maltz, a former agent in charge of DEA Special Ops. Derek, nice to have you on the show. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Rob. Thank you.
Do you think that the partial removal of this program, that Central American Minors Program, led to this surge? Right now, the updated numbers, a minor is crossing our southern border every 2.5 minutes.
Well, Rob, listen, I talked to the experts on the border. If you listen to Brandon Judd, the president of the National Border Patrol Council, I mean, Trump solved the migrant crisis with the migrant protection protocols, keeping people in Mexico. Now you have the migrant camps, flying the Biden flag, right? They know that Biden is the migrant president, just like President AMLO will say publicly, right? This is not anything people can't see through. It's just the mainstream media lying to the public. Listen to the words of the Democratic Republican in Texas, Gonzalez, right? He talks about how the Biden administration's policies are leading the country toward a catastrophic situation.
Right.
You have these kids sleeping on the floors. It's like freezes in there. They're complaining. It's ice cold. So it's really common sense. You don't have to be involved to understand what's going on. We told everyone to come into America. Everything's free. And they come in, they get processed, and they get released into the country.
Yeah,
it's real simple.
This is a crisis that did not exist 60 short days ago when Donald Trump was still president. President Biden awkwardly shuffled over to the gathered press outside the White House late yesterday afternoon. He was asked if he would go to the border himself. Take a listen to his response.
Are you thinking of going to the border?
At some point, I will, yes.
Do you want to see firsthand what's going on in those facilities?
I know what's going on in those facilities.
I mean, he made it seem like I'll go to the border at some point, like at some point I'm going to go to Fiji. That's how ambiguous he was in his response.
Right. I mean, look, any leader knows that you have to respond to a crisis, an emergency. That's why FEMA is there, right? We have a disaster on the border. Biden should be on the plane, talking to people on the ground, talking to the Border Patrol. There's a reason they put a gag order on Border Patrol, because they are pushing out the messages like the raft last week. They were coming into the country to like Disney World. It was kids and parents just coming in like in the thousands just to get here for the free stuff. But, obviously people that are paying attention at the border could describe the situation to the president. So he needs to go down there and listen.
ICE just signed a deal. I should say the Biden administration just signed an $86 million deal with local hotels along the 4 states that our border touches, our 2,000-mile southern border. So the taxpayers are now footing this bill as well to house a single migrant overnight. Costs about $750 a day. I looked it up. There's a Ritz-Carlton hotel in Midtown Manhattan, not far from where I am right now, that costs $500 a night. So it's more important to house a single migrant than it is to stay at a Ritz-Carlton.
Right. So look at all the homeless we have in America, these vets that fought for the country that's sleeping in tents. Just go to any major city. But they're going to put these kids from other countries ahead of our American citizens. That's America's last policies. Look at the fentanyl increases, Rob, 361% increase. Look at all the families that are suffering from the murders of the fentanyl. Their kids are taking these counterfeit pills. The DEA put out a warning last week on now they're targeting kids with Adderall.
Right.
The DEA New England put in a warning. DEA Atlanta seized 40,000 pills, Xanax pills. That's because the cartels understand that the kids are taking these pills when they're in college. They're trying to stay awake. They have ADHD. Lisa Dean's kid, Joseph Dean, right? He died because of the fentanyl poisoning. Thousands of parents are sending photos about their kids They're sending them on Facebook. They're desperately trying to get support. The nonprofits can't sustain the fundraising. The government should be spending that money that they're paying on these fancy hotels for these migrants and spend it on the education and the prevention of these murders of our kids all over America.
Senator Marsha Blackburn said every state becomes a border state with a crisis this big. You were talking about the drug problem. What about the coronavirus problem? The state of Texas just reopened a week ago, and this is causing huge spikes all across the Texas-Mexico border.
Well, look, they're coming into the country. We have no idea what their health condition is. And we have the special interest aliens coming in from around the world. They're the ones that are coming here to try to do harm against our country. Yeah, we all agree that 80, 90%, whatever it is, of these people coming from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, most of them are just innocent people trying to have a better life. We get that. But there's a legal process that you have to go through. I'm concerned about the special interest aliens from Iran, from China, from Russia, from the Middle East that want to destroy our way of life.
Scary stuff, and we know that at least 2 migrants have drowned in the Rio Grande River. Derek Maltz, we look forward to seeing you again. Great information, as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob.